how's it going? Where should I begin? When I left home to come to college, like most of you, I was afraid of leaving all my friends behind. But thanks to tools like Facebook, Skype, AIM, and text messaging, this fear never really came true, did it? But with the plethora of pictures, texts, or videos constantly being posted on Facebook, it made me feel like my friends were as close as they ever were. Even better was, I didn't have to make those time-consuming phone calls, let alone make actual physical visits, because I could instantly chat with any of them with text messaging. Or even easier, I could just drop a comment on their profile. Comments are fantastic tools. I could maintain hundreds of long-distance friendships if I just posted like one comment a week on their Facebook page, to let them know I'm still thinking about them, which makes us friends, right? This took me about 10 seconds if I did it right. And then I didn't even have to deal with the time constraint of chatting with them on Facebook. If I was really pressed for time, I could just glance at their most recent photo and stay relatively updated on their lives. I did this enough. Best of all these new tools were at my disposal 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, regardless of my physical location, whether I was somewhere else in the world or just somewhere else on campus, because I could even do this from my phone. But I was also making new friends in college, and they got actual FaceTime with me, but I also added them on Facebook. Then I realized I could do the same thing with them to a certain extent. Let's see, should I walk all the way downstairs to say hi to Duncan, or should I just Facebook chat him so I can keep working on my IHUM paper in a different window? My network of friends was constantly growing and never decreasing, and being upheld with little to no effort. The nature of the friendships, though, was changing. It was becoming gradually superficial and distanced. As children of the iPod generation and citizens of the time period becoming popularly dubbed the digital age, the presence of technology can be seen in nearly every aspect of our lives. Naturally, it's assumed that this rapid advancement signifies mankind's progress. People can now receive, publish, and communicate information with a level of ease, speed, and efficiency that would be unimaginable a decade ago. But progress is an equivocal word. Undeniably, technology is making everything more convenient, practical, and exhilarating. But is it improving our lives? The answer lies in the struggle between quantity and quality. The Moravian rule in psychology, derived from a study done by a professor at UCLA, states that during the bulk of face-to-face communication of emotions, only 7% of the message is conveyed through the words themselves, while the tone of voice accounts for 38%, and body language accounts for 55%. Of course, there are exceptions and outliers, but if we consider anything even close to the statistic to be true, then what does it mean that such a huge amount of communication today is done with just text, which has neither tone of voice nor body language? How much of what we say over text is misunderstood or just missed if only 7% of it is being conveyed? Alright, let's take a look at this music video by Daft Punk called Technologic.
Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jump and lock it.
Okay, so the first part of the video portrays this figure who's apparently half human, half machine. He has real eyes and real mouth, but everything else is robotic. He's glued to the digital screen, with words and lyrics pounding into his brain. The voice, which is in robotic, emotionless monotone, gives a bullet list of orders using the least words possible, only what's completely necessary to get the message across, and they're not even close to whole sentences. Elaboration wastes time. The voice emphasizes the speed, efficiency, and simultaneousness, but most importantly, the stoicism of a machine. Then there's the lyrics. It sounds like they're referring to everyday electronics, chanting, buy it, use it, break it, fix it, etc. The implication is that we use these inanimate objects without caring for them. We also use people this way, though. Now that all my friends are neatly cataloged in my cell phone and Facebook page, I can just as easily delete an old friend as I can add a new one. Today, it's not uncommon for couples to fight or even break up over text messaging. This may be labeled stoic or even cold-hearted, but it is undeniably efficient. Okay, so this half robot, half man is completely emotionless, but he is also hideously ugly, even disturbing. This is not the image of a human, and it's certainly not something you would idolize or emulate, right? Daft Punk doesn't think so. Look at this part of the video. The robot man is standing on top of this massive pyramid protected by large armed guards, preaching the lyrics to you. He's casting the image of a king, or even a god, insinuating that mankind is not only idolizing the ways of this robot man, but worshipping him, and even becoming his slave. There are thousands of other pyramids all around him. I think these symbolize millions of other half-robots trying to do the same thing. Everyone is becoming obsessed with accelerating their lives, living out of their iPhones, doing 1,000 things at once, having everything available instantly, and skipping speedily from subject to subject, person to person. This is acting exactly like a machine. If you can do everything from your phone, why go anywhere? If everyone is in your phone, why see anyone? In fact, why talk to anyone on the phone if text can do it faster? Here's a question. Why do anything? Why not just sit in a tank all day with your brain hooked up to a massive iPhone? With no time wasted on sleeping, thinking, moving, think how productive you could be. No man can ever be as perfect in his dexterity as a machine. And in this age of digital obsession, there is little reverence left for the beauty of imperfection. People put even less value in things like patience or boredom. Boredom has become completely obsolete in the digital age. I am never bored anymore. If there's any unexciting interim of time in my day, whether it's in between class or during class or at my desk, in my bed, whatever, I whip out my iPhone and I play a game, listen to a song, check my texts. I can do anything, instantly entertained. Anything except appreciate the present moment and the natural world around me. Any time for reflection or contemplation is now avoided or overpowered. Is this advancement? If we're never bored, is it possible to savor the world? At Stanford, I'm constantly surrounded by students scuttling around in a frenzy to make it to class or to turn in an assignment or whatever. How often do they stop their bikes and admire the beautiful campus they're speeding through? Is there any sense of themselves as alive human beings in this moment? The gift of being alive is the ability to experience the world in a way that a machine cannot. Are we forgoing this gift? Immediate gratification, in my opinion, should not be so frowned upon. Technology today offers a whole new realm of multitasking. But if we're experiencing everything at once, are we experiencing anything in its entirety? Or any one? With online chatting, it's common to have 1, 2, or 10 conversations going on at the same time. But is it possible to give anyone your full consideration if you're juggling dialogues with 9 other people? I think that quantity is vitiating quality in our lives and in our relationships, and technology might be the enabler. In ancient times, the only form of communication was face-to-face interaction. Do you know how rare it was back then to know more than 100 people? I currently have 1,184 friends on Facebook. And that's not even everyone I know, that's just mostly my peers. And not only that, but I don't go on Facebook half as much as most of my friends. I mentioned this to Professor McGinn, the Director of Science, Technology, and Society here at Stanford. He suggested that Facebook has redefined the word friend. I think he's right. Webster calls a friend someone you are attached to by feelings of affection and personal regard. No way can I say that about everyone on my Facebook. Some of them I barely know, and others I don't even like. What does that mean that our generation is literally changing the definition of the word friend? Let's look at just a few hundred years ago. By then, people also communicated with letters. But isn't that the same low quality that I'm talking about, like using emails? Professor McGinn said no, because those letters took hours to write and weeks to deliver. They required labor and patience, and that made them much more meaningful to send and receive. Communication today is cheapened by its instantaneousness and effortless accessibility. I've been talking so much about the present moment. What about this one? Right now! My presentation is coming to you from a computer, rather than from me in person. Why? I'm sitting right there. The answer is, it's easier. I've already recorded this 3 times, and I might do 3 more. and then I'm going to choose the best one. It's way easier talking to machines than talking to people. But is it the same? Right now, I'm so relaxed I can remember all my points and articulate them perfectly. I also don't have to worry about my time limit. But the question is, am I having the same effect on my audience? I think the answer is no, which is why I'm going to finish this presentation in person. Now you can hear my voice and all of its complexities and imperfections. You're now experiencing the present moment, and that's a lot different than some recording from who knows how long ago and who knows how many people have seen already. I talked about how technology can be dangerously compelling in its practicality and convenience, but how it can also deteriorate our relationships, individuality, or even the quality of our lives. But where does this information lead us? I think that it's safe to say that our technological reach at this time is very nearly sufficient, and that our lives, at least in the West, are aptly comfortable. I would say on an everyday scale, I'm pretty comfortable. And by most of the world's definition, so is everyone in this room. But why is it then that we constantly reach for more convenience? When the new iPhone came out last year with all new features, didn't you want it? I know I did, and I admit I got it. But the new iPhone has nearly everything. Can you imagine having more? Probably. And guess what? There'll be a new iPhone probably this year with all new advancements. Will people buy it? Yes, absolutely. Will you? The big question is man headed towards a fate forever growing in reach and power? Or are we capable of stopping one day and saying, enough? Enough convenience, enough shortcuts, enough imitations. The thing is, this isn't a question for all of society. It's a question for every individual to ask themselves. Now, I'm not saying you can't use technology to do things faster. What I am saying is that you should do them faster so that you have more free time, not so that you have time to do 1,000 more things in your day. You have to draw the line, personally, where the use of technology in your life, the convenience becomes decadence, and the decadence becomes impairment. If you take one thing away from my presentation today, it's that you need to pay heed to the use of technology in your life, and most importantly, contrast it to what it presumes to replace. Thank you.